Hello everyone, welcome to Edusoft. Today is our second lecture. Before this, we have already seen the basic concepts and fundamentals of NumPy. In this lecture, we are going to cover about NumPy arrays and its functions. So the basic question which comes to our mind is that how to make a NumPy array? How do we know the shape and size of an array? Can we reshape an array? Creating a NumPy array. We can create a basic array by using NumPy functions as mentioned below. Array function, ones function and zeros function, I function, arrange function, rand_n function, rand_int function, and line space function. We are going to cover every function in our coming slides. So the very first function is array function. We can make the basic array by using the function array and by passing a list or a tuple to it. इसका मतलब क्या होता है? Either we can create a list before and pass the name of a list in it, or we can pass a list itself. Let's see the syntax. Array1 equal to np.array. The very first argument you can see over here is object. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? Elements you want to have in your array. It can be list, it can be tuple also. The second function is ones function. What if I want to create an array जिसमें सारे element क्या हो? 1 हो. How I can create this? We have to use ones function. It will create an array filled with ones. Let's see the syntax. Array1 equal to np.ones. Within ones, you can see the first argument as shape. You have to give the shape of an array you want to have. It will return a one-dimensional array of a given shape and type filled with ones. What if I want to have an array of element size 6? So I have to pass 6 as an argument in ones. It will create an array having 6 elements in it. The next one is zeros function. What if I want to create an array of specified shape having all elements as 0 in it? So how can I create this? I have to use zeros function. It will create an array filled with zeros. Let's see the syntax. You can see over here array1 equal to np.zeros. Within zeros, you find the first argument as shape. So you have to give the shape you want your array to have. What if I want to create an array having 6 elements and all the elements as 0? So I have to give 6 as the shape as an argument here. So it will create a one-dimensional array in which all the elements are 0 and that array will have 6 elements in it. Coming to next one is I function. What if I want to create an array having diagonal elements as 1 and non-diagonal elements as 0? So what function we have to use? We have to use I function. It will create an array with all diagonal elements as 1s. Let's see the syntax. You can see over here array1 equal to np.I. Within I, you can see first argument as n, the second argument as m. It means you have to give the number of rows and the number of columns you want your array to have. So it will return a 2D array with ones on the diagonal and zeros elsewhere. Our next function is arrange function. What if I want to create an array in a given range with every element having the same interval between them? So what function we have to use? We have to use array function. We make an array with a range of evenly spaced intervals. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? It means that array के अंदर जो elements होंगे एक given range में होंगे और हर एक array के बीच में या हर एक array के जो elements हैं उनके बीच में same interval होगा. अगर first and second element के बीच में 2 का interval है तो सेकेंड और थर्ड एलिमेंट के बीच में भी 2 का इंटरवल होगा. लेट्स सी द सिंटैक्स. array1 equal to np.arrange. You can see the first argument as start second argument as stop, and third argument as step. So I want to create an array between a range 0 to 100, and I want my array elements to have interval of 2 between them. So how I can create this? For that, I have to pass 0 as a start. Stop के लिए I have to pass 100, and for step I have to pass 2. So it will create an array having elements in the range between 0 to 100. Second one is line space function. What if I want to create an array in a given range with specified number of elements? So how can I make that array? We have to use line space function. It is used to generate the values that are spaced linearly in a specified interval. Let's see the syntax. Array 1 equal to np dot line space. The first argument as a start, second argument as a stop, and the third argument as number. What I want to create an array जिसमें जो elements की range है वो 0 से 100 के बीच में हो, and I want my array to have 50 elements or 40 elements, let's say, in it. So what I have to pass? As in start, I have to give 0. Stop के लिए I have to pass 100. And for num, I have to pass 40. It will return evenly spaced numbers over a specified interval. So it will create an array जिसमें जो elements होंगे वो एक given range में होंगे 0 से लेके 100 के बीच में, और जितने number of elements it will return कितने होंगे? 40 होंगे. So the next function is rand_n function. What if I want to create an array having elements ranged between 0 to 1? So what function we have to use? We have to use rand_n function. It will generate random values close to 0 with numbers between 0 to 1. Let's see the syntax. Array 1 equal to np dot random dot rand_n. Within rand_n, you have to give the shape of your array you want to have. If you want your array to have 6 elements in it, so you have to give 6 as an argument here. The next one is rand_int function. What if I want to create an array having random numbers in a given range? So what function we have to use? We have to use rand_int function. It will generate random numbers in a given range. Let's see the syntax. Array 1 equal to np dot random dot rand_int. In rand_int, you will find the first argument as low, second argument as high, third argument as size. So if I want to create an array range between 0 to 100 having 50 elements in it, तो low क्या होगा? 0. 100 क्या होगा? High क्या होगा? 100. Size क्या होगा? 50. So it will generate an array having random numbers, random 50 numbers in a range between 0 to 100. अगर हमारे पास already एक array है, can we know the shape and size of an array? Yes, we can know the shape and size of an array. How? Let's see. NdArray.ndim. In this case, ND is the name. NdArray is the name of your array. .ndim is the method. It will use to tell us the dimensions of an array. आपका array 1-dimensional है, 2-dimensional है. Which function you have to use to know the dimension? You have to use .ndim method. Second one is NdArray.size. It will tell us the total number of elements of an array. If your array have 6 elements in it, so the output for .size method will be 6. The next method is NdArray.shape. It will display an output having the number of elements stored along each dimensions of an array. It will display the number of rows and the number of columns. How to reshape an array? अगर हमारे पास एक array है, can we reshape our array? Yes, we can reshape our array. How? Let's see. So for that, we have to use reshape function. It will reshape an array. During reshaping of an array, we have to remember that the new array should have the same number of elements as the original one. Otherwise, it will give an error. अगर ओरिजिनल एरे में आपके 50 नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स हैं तो रीशेप होने के बाद जो आपका एरे फॉर्म होगा उसमें भी 50 नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स ही होंगे. Now come to Jupyter Notebook. In that we are going to see the practical implementation of all the functions we have seen till now. Let's make this a heading. For heading, what you have to do, you have to mark it as a heading, then OK and Control plus Enter. Now, before starting on NumPy, what we have to do, we have to import NumPy first. I am importing NumPy as NP because NP is standard. You can have any name in place of NP. Here we are creating a NumPy array using list. So let's make a list L1 having elements like 40, 50 and 80 in it. Now what we have to do? We have to create our array1 equal to np.array. We are using array function here. What we have to pass as an argument? We have to pass the name of a list. L1. Now, what I want to print my array as array1. Now, let's see output. You can see output as 40, 50 and 80 elements. This is a one-dimensional array having 40, 50 and 80 elements in it. So, here what we are doing? We are creating an array using list. Instead of passing list or specifying a list before, what we can do? We can give list as an argument over here also. Let's see output and you can have the same output as 40, 50 and 80. We can create an array either by specifying a list before and pass the name of a list as an argument in an array, or what we can do? We can pass a list itself as an argument. The next important function which we are going to see is in ones function. What if I want to create an array having all the elements as ones in it? So, what function we have to use? We have to use ones function. First of all, what we have to do? We have to import NumPy. Let's create our array2 equal to np.ones. In ones, what we have to pass as an argument? We have to pass the size we want our array to have. If I want my array to have 6 number of elements in it, so what I have to pass? I have to pass 6 as in size over here. Now, what we are going to do? We are going to print our array. Let's see output. And you can see it will create one-dimensional array having element size 6 and all the elements being ones in it. What if I want to create an array having element size as 2? So, what I have to pass as an argument? I have to pass 2 and it will create a one-dimensional array having 2 elements in it. The next important function which we are going to see is zeros function. What if I want to create an array having all the elements as zeros in it? So what function we are going to use? We have to use zeros function. First of all, what we have to do? We have to import NumPy as np. Now create your array as array3 equal to np dot zeros. Within zeros, what you have to pass? You have to pass the size of your array you want to have. I want my array size to be 6. So, I'm going to pass 6 as an argument. Now, what I want to print my array. So, let's print it. And you can see output as this. So, it will create a one-dimensional array having 6 zeros in it. What if I want my array size to be 4? So I have to pass 4 in place of 6 as an argument. Now, it will create a one-dimensional array having 4 elements in it. The next important function which we are going to see is an I function. What if I want to create an array having all the diagonal elements as ones and non-diagonal elements as zeros? So, what function we have to use? We have to use I function. What we have to do? We have to import NumPy as NP. Now, create your array 4 equal to np.I. Within I, what you have to pass? You have to give the shape you want your array to have. What if I want my array to be in the shape of 3, 3? So what I have to give as an argument? I have to pass 3, 3. Now what I want to print my array. So let's print array 4. You can see output as this. So it will create a 2-dimensional array having all the diagonal elements as ones and non-diagonal elements as zeros. What if I want to give, or what if I want to have the shape as 3, 4? So let's see the output. It will create an array, or it will create a 2-dimensional array having diagonal elements as ones and all the non-diagonal elements as zeros. The next important function which we are going to see is an arrange function. What if I want to create an array in a specified range having all the elements in the same interval? So what function we are going to use? We are going to use an arrange function. Let's import NumPy. So import NumPy as NP. Now create your array as array 5 equal to NP dot arrange. Within arrange, what you have to pass? So here I want my array to be in the range of 0 to 100. So as a start, I have to give 0. As a stop, I have to give 100. Now I want my array elements to be in the interval of 2. So for step, what we have to pass? We have to give 2. Now what I want to print my array. Now print your array 5 and see the output. You can see the output as your array will start from 0 and it ends on 98 because range में क्या होता है? जो स्टार्ट एलिमेंट होता है वो इंक्लूड होता है, यानी जो स्टार्ट रेंज होती है वो इंक्लूड होती है और जो एंड रेंज होती है वो एक्सक्लूड होती है. सो इन दिस एग्जाम्पल यू कैन सी जो पहली रेंज है आपकी 0 वो इंक्लूड है एंड द लास्ट रेंज जो कि 100 है वो इंक्लूड नहीं है. So your elements will be in the range from 0 to 98 and every element you can see over here is in the interval of 2. 0 और 2 के बीच में कितना इंटरवल है? 2. 2 और 4 के बीच में कितना इंटरवल है? 2. 4 और 6 के बीच में कितना इंटरवल है? 2. 6 and 8 के बीच में कितना इंटरवल है? 2. If you want to include 100, so what you have to give as in range? You have to give 0 to 102 as in range. You can see output now. You will get 100 as the end element. Now, your range is from 0 to 102. The first of your range is included. The last of your range is excluded. The next function which we are going to see is line space function. What if I want to create an array in a given range with a specified number of elements? So what function we are going to use? We have to use line space function. For this, what we have to do? We have to import NumPy as NP. Now create your array as array 6 NP dot line space. Within line space, what you have to pass as an argument? you have to give start, step, and numbers. I want my array to be in the range from 0 to 100, and I want 40 number of elements in my array. So what I have to give? I have to pass 0 as a start, 100 as a stop, and for number of elements or for num, what we have to pass? We have to pass 40. Now, what I want to print my array 6, and you can see output as this. इस आउटपुट में या इस एग्जाम्पल में आपको ज्यादा अच्छे से समझ में नहीं आएगा. So let's change our example as now. What I want range from 0 to 10, and how many numbers I want my array to have or elements. I want my array to have element size 5. So I have to give num as 5. Now you can see output as this. तो आपकी रेंज क्या है? 0 से लेके 100 की 0 से लेके 10 की रेंज है आपकी. एंड नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स कितने हैं? 5 नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स हैं. एंड ईच एलिमेंट हैव द सेम इंटरवल बिटवीन देम. 0 एंड 2.5 के बीच में कितने का गैप है? 2.5 का. 2.5 एंड 5 के बीच में कितने का गैप है? 2.5 का. 5 एंड 7.5 के बीच में कितने का गैप है? 2.5 का. एंड 7.5 एंड 10 के बीच में कितने का गैप है? 2.5 का. So it will create an array in a given range with specified number of elements and all the elements having the same interval between them. So the next important function which we are going to see is rand function. What if I want to create an array having elements in the range between 0 to 1? So what function I have to use? I have to use rand function. Before starting, what we have to do? We have to import NumPy as np. Now create your array as array7 equal to np dot random dot randn. Within randn, what you have to pass as an argument? You have to give the size you want your array to have. I want my array to have 2 number of elements in it. So I have to pass 2 as an argument. Now what I want to print my array. Let's print. So let's see output. You can see output as minus 0.56 and 0.04. So it will take random numbers between 0 to 1. The next function which we are going to see is randint function. What if I want to create an array with random numbers in a given range? So what function we have to use? We have to use randint function. So first of all, what we have to do? We have to import NumPy as np. Then create your array as array8 equal to np dot random dot randint. Now I want my array to be in the range from 0 to 100. And I want my array to have 20 number of elements in it. So what I have to pass as an argument? I have to give first argument as 0, second argument as 100, and third argument as 20 in it. Now what I want to print my array. So print your array. Now see output. You can see output over here is. It will give us a one-dimensional array having first element as 82, second element as 40, third element as 59, fourth element as 9. And you can see total number of elements in this array are 20. So in place of 20, I can also give 10. So it will give output as an array having 10 number of elements in it. So here you can see first element as 32, second element as 87. What if I run this program again? So you can see your output changed. Now the first element as 84, second element as 21. So this function, randing function, will always give random numbers or will always generate random numbers in a given range. So it will create an array by random numbers in a given range. Next method which we are going to see is dot endem method. This method is used to know the dimensions. I want to know the dimension of our array, that is array 8. How I can check the dimensions? We have to write print array name, that is array 8 dot endem. Now you can see output over here as 1. It means this array 8 is a one-dimensional array. Now create another array which is a two-dimensional array. First of all, what you have to do, you have to import NumPy as NP. Now array 10. So this is our two-dimensional array. I am going to print this array as array 10 and you can see output as this. Now अगर मुझे आइडिया नहीं है कि ये कौन सा एरे है, कितने डायमेंशन का एरे है, so what function I am going to use or what method I am going to use to find that? We have to use dot endem method, array 10 dot endem. So the output will be 2 because this is a two-dimensional array. What if I want to know the size of our array? For that, what we have to give? We have to give print array 10 dot size. So see the output. You can see output as 6 over here. It means your array size is 6. It has 6 number of elements. Now, what if I want to know the shape of our array? For that, what we have to give? We have to give array name dot shape. See the output and you can see output as 2, 3. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? Your array, that is array 10, is having 2 number of rows and 3 number of columns in it. Rows कितनी है? 2. Columns कितने हैं? 3. So dot size method will always return the number of elements, the total number of elements. Dot shape method will always return the shape, that is number of rows and the number of columns of your array. The another function which we are going to see is reshape function. So what if I want to reshape my array? This array, array 10, is in the shape of 2, 3. What if I want my another array, that is array 11, or I want to reshape this array in the shape 3, 2. So what I have to give? I have to write array name, that is array 10 dot reshape. Within reshape, what you have to give as an argument? You have to give the shape you want your new array to have. I want my new array to be in the shape of 3, 2. So now what I want to do? I want to print my new array, that is array 11. Now you can see. Now your array 11 is having 3 number of rows and 2 number of columns. Okay, check the shape of this array, array 11 dot shape. You can see over here 3, 2. जो आपका ओरिजिनल एरे था एरे 10, उसका शेप क्या था 2, 3. जो आपका नया एरे फॉर्म हुआ है रीशेप के बाद, उसका शेप क्या है 3, 2. So in this way you can reshape your array. That's all for today. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Coming session 3rd, we are going to see about data types of NumPy array and its related functions. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much.